Alrighty everyone, welcome to Season 2. Now I haven't put the game in the title to keep everyone on their toes. We have games from both Season 1 that still need to be reviewed, and games from the RPG Maker Experience 3 to review. But there are also two additional games that are from neither, and I chose to review them for very different reasons. Game 1 is CINE in Another World. I chose this one because I wanted to give the developer of the Boss Rush Cave a proper look at a game that wasn't just a boss rush. And the other one is Airships of Elandria because it's another Radley game. He'll show up in every single video until the end of time, even if it's not his game I'm reviewing. So this is the order I'll be reviewing all the games in this season. However, somewhere in here, most likely after this video, there will also be the beginnings of developer commentary on my own game development. You know, to spice things up. Without further ado, let's begin Season 2 with an absolute bang, and this will probably be one of the last videos that I record without a capture card, and you'll see why as the video goes on. Quest of Verendia. This game still impresses me. It's probably one of the best RPG Maker games in a sense of its scale. This game is absolutely massive. It's also the game that'll make me purchase and learn a capture card because I've lost about 3 hours worth of footage of this game due to 7 game crashes. So I'm a little frustrated with life and the pursuit of happiness as I write this script. This isn't a bad idea and it definitely won't bite me in the ass later. But the gears of time keep spinning, so march on I shall. So as we're now kind of in a semi-professional state, I mean, you saw the intro, I'm now kind of forced to develop a script to make my scripts. So here that script is. Inside this script, if I have to say script one more time in this video, I will delay it again. Instead of me flailing around for 15 minutes, then locking in on the ending ranking, I'm now going to divide the video into 6 segments. The first 5 will be to each of the segments that I rank a game on, finishing each segment with ranking that game, and the 6th section will be a bit of a wildcard bonus that varies depending on what I want. This is done so I can keep my head on straight and translate my notes written in chicken scratch and broken dreams into a semi-coherent script. How much is a capture card? Oh, that's 2 weeks rent. Fuck. I've said this once and I'll say it again. Get this game on itch immediately. Like, this story steps to and even knocks some AAA games flat on its ass with its storytelling. Every character here has something they're hiding, and it makes this family seem like a heavily dysfunctional family, which is incredibly ironic considering 2 members of the party are sons of an incredibly dysfunctional woman. Frago suffers nightmares whenever he isn't belligerently drunk. Evelyn knows, but that's about all he's really told. Evla's father is dead. This is dropped unceremoniously by a woman who runs the temple in Evla's hometown. Vorgel is hiding something that Ryan knows. We'll get to him later. Rogain's skin is actually a disease he was born with. His mother died of it, and, you know, he was born with the pale complexion. This one is less counted as he is pretty, open when the law bomb is dropped, but it does explain a lot about him. Avrona and Raynon seem to love playing the pronoun game and refuse to say anything openly, even when they're the only ones in the damn room. Snydor, we'll get back to him, is trying to become a master sorcerer, and while he's open about that fact, I gain the feeling he's playing coy about something. And Ryan is hiding something about the elves, but I'll leave the main party for now and actually talk about the damn story. The story itself remains roughly about the same. Find and stop Lavergus from opening portals to darkness and fucking the world with a long dick of redundancy. But now we have Vargas kicking stones around too, and he is quite the character. The best friend slash mentee of Raynon, Vargas is a perfect example of the Icarus dilemma. You know, Icarus flew too close to the sun so his wax wings melted. Vargas wanted power, so he flew too close to the temptation of darkness and got burned hard. Or in this case, he got made the bitch of Lavergus. If my tone and wording is not abundantly clear at this point, I'm not much of a fan of either of these gaggle fucks. Vargas feels very flat and single-dimensional, and Lavergus has the problem of, ow, the edge, where in every appearance he grabs a tea towel, wraps it into a whip, and brutally skull-fucks the party with no recourse, murdering an old dude at one point, and it was a shame because I really liked that old dude. You know, at least he looks cool. However, Von Pearl is such a lovable, charming git that it balances out Captain Edgelord and the paper fleshlight over here. I'm so sorry, man. I've been going way too hard at these two. Von Pearl first pops up to harass Regain and earns the rep of secondary antagonist, but when Vargas hires him to follow and spy on the party before delivering a letter to him from a courier, Von Pearl gets a lot of moments to be comically evil around an even more evil person. But when his two lackeys are murdered, he begins his growth from secondary antagonist to tertiary protagonist. Von Pearl and Lavergus remind me of, and yes, I'm gonna bring it up again, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Xenoblade 3's final boss in Console Z is widely considered, at least in the circles I'm in, to be a dull, boring, and uninteresting character of a boss. A similar situation occurs here with Lavergus, where his presence is a nuisance at best and actively groan-worthy at worst. While Console N is Xenoblade 3's best antagonist, I openly welcome Von Pearl at every turn he pops up. In a similar vein, the Coward Demon also feels much more fun to battle and banter with. The secondary antagonists are pulling a lot more of the weight here than the primary antagonists. And yes, I'm still in part 1, 10 hours into the game. But the secondary antagonists are doing a hell of a lot more of the deadlifting here than the primary ones. I'm sorry, this entire segment has been me bashing Lavergus and Vargas, so let me mention some of the stuff I did enjoy. Rogaine gets an entire cutscene with him and his mother, telling us a lot more about Rogaine's past and why he's like he is. Honestly, Rogaine is the first character in any of the games I've reviewed that I want to pick up, hold, tell him it's going to be okay, and give him a raincoat. There's also a small plot of Raynon and Avrona's daughter being trapped in an eternal sleep. It doesn't really come up much, but it is worth noting as it's kind of a bait and switch for Raynon's trust. Apart from 2/3 of the game's villains feeling flat and uninteresting, the story rides high most of the time. The subplots with the party, the side quests which I don't even mention here, and the existence of Von Pearl and the Coward Demon keeps the story firmly at the 4 out of 5 where I'd placed it originally. So I've covered everyone from Frago to Avrona in the original review that I did in Season 1, so I'm going to start with Raynon and then loop back around at the end. The frontrunner for the overarching storyline of looks being deceiving, Raynon seizes his position as secondary protagonist upon his entrance. While Raynon has cracked healing and powerful attacks, the fact that he uses the dark element for a lot of his non-magic attacks means that some bosses actually check for them, as most of them are immune to dark attacks, which lowers his overall strength in battle. Snidor enters the scene after a desert storm. He's a sorcerer, has the health of a wet piece of paper, and crumples about as easily as one. But he can learn the Comet spell, so it all balances out. While he would be incredibly useful in battle, even when fully kitted out, he drops in about 2 or 3 hits from most enemies. So either Mana Shell or Protection spells are needed to keep him standing to weather the storm. I'm so sorry, Raynon, but Ryan is just a more fun character because of one trait. The Regenerate spell. Ryan comes with this spell off the cuff, and Raynon has to get it through an orb. Regenerate is a very good spell, which gives a small burst heal and gives you health regeneration over the next few turns. Raynon and Ryan are really good parallels to each other, as while Raynon uses darkness, Ryan uses light for most of his non-magic skills, which is very unique. Avrona is the third demon of the party I'm mentioning here, and as all demons are talented with magic, they can equip higher powered magic orbs. So I just give her a Dark Orb 3, which allows me to wipe 75% of an enemy's HP outside of bosses, which is fucking sweet. Outside of that, Avrona has a group heal, which helps earn her spot on most party formations. I've spelt Rogaine's name differently in every instance of the script, and I do not pronounce his name in the same way twice. But who cares, because he is my boy, and I love him. In every RPG I play, there's always a couple people who I declare are my boys. It doesn't matter what gender you are, what species you are, what race, what sexuality, whatever. If I like you, you become one of my boys. And Rogaine's one of them. He also has the slot machine, allowing me to gamble damage numbers. The slot machine has bailed me out of bullshit literally like 6 times. It's great. Vorgel is a really good dude, a talented cook, and a walking Lord of the Rings reference. Hell, cooking's one of his combat skills, which is really funny. He also has some pretty solid character interactions with the other party members. However, he seems to fade into the background during some of the most intense moments in the first part of this adventure. There's really not much else to say about him. He's solidly written when he gets his moments. Evla is the character who often stands to the side while everyone else develops and gets character moments. Her best moments of interaction are during the more relaxed moments of the adventure, when she and Frago can relate over some of their more relatable character personality traits, especially the scene at Evla's home where she talks about Frago not being what she expected and how she felt a little let down by it. She does have a lot of complexity in battle, and she's probably the most consistent fighter due to her wide variety in moves and elements, a decent amount of MP to be able to piss out healing spells, and not being terribly bad defensively. Frago's character has grown substantially, and if intended or not, he has become a really good allegory for alcoholism and the pain it can cause for those afflicted by it. Sure, Frago's skills do involve him drinking beer and throwing poisoned wine bottles. He shines best with his ability to churn out single target damage, and his interactions with the rest of the cast are amazing, and he has a really sadly common reason for turning to drinking as often as he does, which is horrible. Like it's really good character writing, but it's a sadly common reason for alcoholism. And he even has stress nightmares about losing the people around him, which you've taken a character that I stated that I really didn't like, and I thought he was whiny during the very first time I looked at this game, and you've made him a complex three-dimensional character that I actually really like. He's grown on me tremendously. In my original review, I gave character a 4 out of 5, and I stand by that. It is very close to being a 5 out of 5, but Vorgel and Everest seem to fade into the background way too frequently for my liking to give it the full 5. I've given combat its stars already, and it'll keep those stars because this game has some of the most unique combat traits I've ever seen. Firstly, the weapons themselves. While the humans, and Vorgel, need weapon upgrades frequently, the three demons have weapons that upgrade with use in a way that I need to know for my own game's needs. Frago and Vorgel also have attacks that rely on inventory items. Frago has the ability to drink certain beers in combat or throw poisoned wine bottles at enemies, and Vorgel can cook up dishes to boost stats using cooking ingredients found throughout the game, which is absolutely amazing, and I find that incredibly awesome with its uniquities. The orbs remain amazing. Comet will be my carry spell for the foreseeable future, and the HP and MP boost orbs are my go-to when I don't have anything else to use in the accessory slot. My only wish is that we could get more of the funny wizard in one way or another. I know he's dead, but when has that stopped anyone? I want a batshit crazy wizard hurling spells like no one's business, even if it is non-canon. The battle arenas are awesome, and it's neat that we have the option to fight in arena battles in multiple areas. And the enemy balance feels a lot better now that we're over the hump of the early game. Sure, some of our team, Snyder, crumple with a stiff breeze, but that's not the enemy balance's fault. It'll take the score it's got of 5, and it has damn well earned that score. I've said on record that I think Radley is a king with location design, and god damn it, I've mentioned him again, this isn't even his game. But I think this game gives him a run for his money in location design, like, honestly. There's only so many different ways that I can say the game's area design gets better the longer the game goes on without sounding like a broken record. But it really feels like I've watched the game developer get better in every front as this game progresses on, whether that be location design, game balance, or dialogue writing. I'm getting off topic here. Point is, the guy's getting better with the stuff he's doing as time goes on, especially with locations. And considering I'm 10 hours in and on the end of part 1, I'm expecting some really flashy stuff as we move further on down the line. Special shoutouts to Evla's hometown and the area in Laverge's Darkness portal. They both are stunning and coincidentally are where the game crashed the most, so I suspect it may be a memory leak issue, but I don't know. I'm not a software engineer. The Temple to the Light God also is amazing, carrying some heavy Egyptian themes to it, and you get to explore everything thoroughly while solving puzzles and besting timers. I'd put clips of that stuff here, but the game crashed after I'd saved, but before I could cut the footage again. So, you know. The original score I gave was a 3 here, but, I think that this game has earned a score increase in its exploration from 3 to 4. It's not quite a 5, but there is still more to the game. I don't know how much longer to the game, but I'm only at the end of part 1. So time may change the score yet again. Who knows? But yeah, like, you guys are really damn good with your location designs. Like, I don't know how you do it most of the time. So, I had a very, very tough debate with myself as I moved into this part. Because I had to have a really hard think about how I wanted to rank enjoyability. There are only 3 games that I have given a 5 out of 5 in one of the categories that I've reviewed: Demon King Defiance, this game, and Creature Hunter G+. And as I finished the recording after several game crashes, barely making a dent in the game's progress, and being frustrated at all the footage I lost, I thought long and hard. Do I think that I enjoyed this game enough, despite the flaws and the game crashes, to give Quest of Verendia a 5 for enjoyability? This was a very long and hard conversation I had with myself. I had to go on a walk in my neighborhood, and it took me about a couple hours to figure out. But I decided at the end of everything: yes. So, Quest of Verendia is the first game I've reviewed to earn a score of 5 in 2 categories. Congratulations! The thing that tipped me into giving it the 5 in enjoyability was the wide variety of unique mechanics, the battle skills, the methods of unlocking new skills, the demon weapons leveling, Von Pearl's existence, and the areas to explore. It warranted the 5 in my opinion. There is so much creative ingenuity here that you had to have done without the help of any plugins or anything that the PC version has. So that is bonus points for being just, this is all hand done. Quest of Verendia now pulls ahead cleanly to a score of 22, putting a few point difference between it and the rest of the pack. This season is going to be damn good if this is our starting block. And hopefully I'll have a capture card by the time I get to the next time I review this game. So the game crashing equals footage gone would be fixed with a capture card. So, fingers crossed. Okay, I know this is a fully complete game, but I know it's still getting updates, so I can ask for a couple things, right? Can I pull rank and redeem the niche micro celebrity card? My biggest want is a way to be able to play as either Von Pearl or Merv the Crazy Wizard. Even if they're non-canon and I have to jump through several hoops to get them, I want the opportunity to play as them. I think they both would be very interesting to have as additional optional character options, like that one chick from the original Final Fantasy VII. I don't know. Apart from that, most of the wants that I have from this game I've mentioned in the past prior as, minor changes and bug fixes, such as the extra accessory slot for the orbs or just some tweaking of the balance in the early game. This game is really good, and I'm going to kind of lump my conclusion into it just because I think that it would be important for me to do so. This game was kind of the definition to me of sometimes an hour isn't enough for a game to really get going. The original hour I gave it all the way back in the original RPG Maker experience, which has nearly got 1,000 views now, might I add. It was not a glowing review. I did not treat this game well, but it was the developer finding that video and was, I think, the first developer to find the video that had their game in it. I think you were anyway. And telling me about some stuff I'd missed and the bits and pieces that they were working on for it and it made me give it another chance. And it was that second chance that really solidified this game to me as something special. It was going to be an incredibly good experience. So I gave it another chance. I put it on the review list for season 1 and I played it. And I had been proven wrong of my original thoughts of this game so many times over by now. Quest of Verendia is a game that I feel like is only limited by the engine it's on. I feel with the development team, animators to animate these cutscenes, because there are some really good cutscenes in this game that have been done with pixel art here. Just like I believe that with a team to go over and fix some of the minor grammar issues, to give some more animations and life to this game, to give a little bit more of everything, this game could stand tall and proud among some of the best of indie RPG. And I'm really excited to see what more will come from this developer. I feel like that with this developer's amazing creativity. Hell, the stuff they've made in this game alone that they've made without plugins, using common events and variables and switch calls, are absolutely amazing. And I said in the original that if you were to give any of the games I play a shot, make it this one. And I stand by that. Out of any game I review, if you have the ability to play RPG Maker's PS4 MV, this game has got to be one you pick up because it is absolutely one of the best aspects of this game. Yeah, it stands tall, it stands proud, and a lot of love and effort has been put into this game. So, yeah, the 22 it's earned has been very well earned. I fully believe that the next update this game has will make the game even better. So with that said and done, that is all I have for Quest of Verendia's second look. This has easily now become the longest video of any of the recordings, so if season 2 continues with this momentum, it's gonna be really damn good. Um, yeah, the next video, I mean, will probably be a developer commentary. It may be Tales of Astera. I'm not 100% sure at this point yet. I will have to wait and see how things unfold. With all that said and done, though, thank you guys for watching. We will see you in the next video. And as always, have a good rest of your day, night, whatever time it is for you over there. And we will see you in another video. Goodbye.